Welcome back to Hollywood Habits, where we dive deep into the stories behind the spotlight. Today, we bring you a powerful and emotional journey, one that takes us inside the heart of Neverland Ranch, a place that has long been shrouded in mystery, myth, and media frenzy. But this time, the story isn't told by outsiders or speculators, it's shared by someone who lived it, Paris Jackson, the daughter of the legendary Michael Jackson. In a rare and heartfelt interview, Paris opens up about what life was truly like inside Neverland, not the amusement park tours or the tabloid rumors, but the real, lived-in spaces. Specifically, she talks about the upstairs portion of the estate, a place fans have always wondered about, but rarely heard described with such raw honesty. While the world remembers Neverland for its whimsical rides, lush gardens, and magical energy, Paris shares that the upstairs felt like a different world entirely. It wasn't frightening in the way people imagine, it was simply quiet, heavy, intimate. She describes it as a place filled with stillness, a part of the house that held echoes of who her father really was when no one was looking. She remembers sitting in the hallway, listening to Michael hum melodies behind closed doors, songs that never made it to the charts, but left an imprint on her soul. It was beautiful, but sad, she said, reflecting on how those notes felt like her father was reaching for something just beyond his grasp. These weren't rehearsals or performances. These were vulnerable, private moments, a man, not a superstar, working through his thoughts in the only space he felt truly free. Paris doesn't sensationalize anything. She doesn't give in to tabloid curiosity or go down the path of scandal. Instead, she offers something much more powerful, a personal truth. She says people always want the shocking headlines, but what they forget is the soul of the place. For her, the upstairs wasn't some locked-away secret chamber. It was where she laughed, cried, played, and processed the intensity of growing up in a world that never looked away. It was a refuge, even if it didn't always feel safe in the traditional sense. It was where she saw her father as a human being, exhausted, searching, but still deeply loving. Her words remind us that even the most magical places carry layers of complexity. Neverland wasn't just a fantasy land, it was also a shelter, a mirror, and sometimes a lonely island for one of the most famous and misunderstood men in the world. In sharing these memories, Paris doesn't just revisit her past, she reframes our understanding of Michael Jackson, not just as an icon, but as a father, an artist, and a man burdened by global fame. Fans and critics alike have been deeply moved by her openness. For many, it's the first time Neverland has felt real, not like a set piece in a fairy tale, but like a home full of both beauty and pain. Paris Jackson's courage to speak out has given us a rare gift, a reason to stop and reflect, to look past the headlines and remember the human story behind the legend. Her story isn't just about nostalgia, it's about healing, reclaiming truth, and honoring the parts of her father the world didn't always see. So the next time you hear the name Neverland, don't just think of the mystery. Think of the music that never left the room, the quiet steps of a little girl in the hallway, and the sound of a daughter finally being heard. If you felt something while watching this, if it gave you a new perspective or simply reminded you of the power of truth, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. There are always more untold stories waiting here on Hollywood Habits, where we bring the heart back to Hollywood.